the one who can test the most, learn the fastest, would ultimately win in anything. Justin Bieber, when he released his Swag album, he posted 97 times in like, it was either one day or 1 week.
Yeah.
And then, you know, someone might launch, trying to start their own business, they're worried to do a fucking story. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, the GOAT is posting 100 times.
When you build something, then you get, you know, you attract great people, you're attracted to great people. Yeah, so I did that custom collection with him. Pleasure to work with Phil, sick guy. I think to go big, you have to have offline team, an office and a hub that everybody comes to discuss ideas, to lock in. In like a sick way, I feel like I'm willing to sacrifice more than some others are. And I know how the universe works too, so I've got full trust in the universe to reward me for that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know the score is going to take care of itself. It's going to come to me at some point.
Now, what do you think money reveals about character?
It's a great mirror, and I feel like you really discover who you truly are when you get first bit of decent money.
I need to show you a piece of jewelry that changed my life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A single piece of jewelry to all of this is actually kind of crazy, bro.
It's actually hella real.
No. Wow.
When you say it like that, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So do you think you're born with this, you know, this potential? Is it nature or nurture? What do you reckon?
I think the gun's loaded and then something triggers it.
Ooh.
But to become a Ronaldo or a Jordan, it's like almost purely intuition.
Right,
You're not
right.
studying someone's blueprint, you're not studying someone's decision making. It was just following just his divine path, you know. I really take care of my family, you know, and I can't afford to or slip up, you know, especially in the game I'm playing. It's so competitive.
Yeah.
It's so, you know, it's quite easy to get wiped out. You need just one bad season, you know, and you're kind of fucked. So like, I don't want to mess up, and I've got too much responsibility.
Alright, bro. Bit of one touch
Run it, bro. When was the last time you played?
every Friday.
Here?
No, actually, local to me.
So,
But see this Brazilian heritage.
come on, man. Let's go.
Okay.
Vamos.
Okay, welcome back. Today is a very special episode. I'm joined by a longtime friend and someone who I've seen grow his brand from his bedroom to a global fashion brand. And when I met you in 2018, I think Cernucci was already a somewhat successful jewelry brand, but now it's got cosigns from the likes of Lamine Yamal, Phil Foden, Memphis Depay, which has been insane to see unfold. You know, it's pretty crazy. What I like most about Fred and about yourself is that you're not very public facing. I think this is, you know, last year, in the last 6 months, I think you've started doing public facing content, and I think it's something that the world needs to see. I think amongst our friendship groups and our mutual friends, you're very much admired and revered in the business IQ, but also I think there's a lot of depth that hasn't been seen yet, you know. But for anyone that doesn't know you, who are you? What do you do?
Well, firstly, pleasure to be on.
Of course,
First
bro.
one, man, so
First one.
guest to chat with you. Yeah, I'm Fred. I'm 27 and created a brand called Cernucci just over 7 years ago. Half English, half Brazilian, and yeah, always been super ambitious, always wanted to get into fashion at some point and have my own brand, so super lucky that I'm still playing the game and still dialed in.
Love that, man. And for anyone that it does interest, Fred was actually my first mentor, so it's actually kind of crazy. It's a full circle moment. In 2018, we were, you know, he was teaching me about Facebook ads and I was paying him like £400 a month or something.
Legendary, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy days, man. So it's been crazy to see, I guess, you know, maybe from your perspective as well, like what I went to do and what you went to do. And I think you indirectly and directly had a role in definitely my ecom success, like in the past, but I think definitely like planting ideas in my mind about how you operate, you know, mental models you operate from. So yeah, man, I appreciate it even to this day.
Oh, of course,
So
pleasure.
yeah, and I think there's a lot of areas I want to touch on with you, like psychology of building a business to this scale, identity, even having identity crises, being half Brazilian, half English. But I want to start with, obviously, with the brand, right, with Cernucci. When it comes to fashion, right, it's a game that I want to ask you, why do you want to be in fashion? Like, you started in fashion for one reason, probably because it worked, but why did you remain in it?
I remained in it when I kind of got my breakthrough about 6 months in, and it was very fast growth. Like the first 6 months was so tough, I almost was like, fuck this shit, you know?
Wow.
Whereas when I got my breakthrough after 6 months, after finding Instagram ads and selling a load of jewelry, that's when I was like, when you get a taste for it, it's addictive and you just can't leave it, you know? So I was almost there, but I was super lucky with that. And since that, tasting that, I couldn't stop, you know? So that's why I just wanted to ascend and keep growing every category and everything.
Yeah, I love that. And I think there's a few things there that interest me is that from the outside looking in, especially from my perspective, it only looked like a, you know, upwards trajectory, which I'm sure it's not like that in real life. And there's been moments, you know, where you're like, this is it for me. But is there any moments that come to mind, you know, in those early days?
For sure, there's been so many moments, you know. But something I think about was at the start,
Yeah.
where I was just trying to start it. I left sixth form. All my friends either went to uni or started work. I got a job at Waitrose. And when my girlfriend went to uni as well. And when she came back, she broke up with me. I had to have an ACL surgery from a football injury. And my cat died. And there was just so much stuff at once, you know. I was trying to like spend all my bread on building this brand that wasn't working. I told everyone that I'm doing my own thing, you know, like my word was out there too. And that was a super like testing time for me. And I'm so like, when I got through it, I was like, I'm fucking invincible, you know? So that was like one of the toughest moments for sure.
What's good, bro?
What?
How's it going?
Good to see you, man.
Fucking cold up here, nah?
Freezing, bro.
Ready to see the HQ.
Let's do it, man.
So we
Super
got,
excited.
just before we go in, we've got 3 floors.
Yeah.
The bottom one's being renovated.
All right.
So it might be a little bit cramped and messy, but maybe it adds to it. But we got the product team on the first floor. Second floor, we got social studio, HR, customer service and whatnot, but I'll show you around.
Excited to see it, man. Let's go.
In this room, we have buyers, merch, designers, and it's where all the magic happens, you know? It's where we're creating everything. And like I said, it's a little bit messy. There is samples everywhere, but
This is a throwback to the apartment.
yeah.
When we first met, I remember coming to your place and you had the Cernucci or the big C on the apartment.
Big
So,
throwback.
That's a crazy
And
throwback.
we got to keep it icy blue, you know? Got to pay
Yeah,
homage
yeah,
to the
yeah.
jewelry.
That's insane, bro. From the apartment to this, to the team, like you got a big team, bro. How many?
Yeah,
people
nah,
work
it's
with?
just under 50 people right now.
Wow.
So it's been mad, to be honest.
That's
But,
insane.
yeah.
I see the photo piece as well. That was a crazy collab, bro.
Big collab, bro. Yeah, so I did that custom collection with him about 2 years ago. Did 2 collections.
Yeah.
And yeah, pleasure to work with Phil, sick guy. And even the butterfly effect of working with someone like Phil, you know, it introduced us to working with way more footballers,
Right,
dope artists, athletes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because I don't know what you believe about networking, but
Yeah.
I don't really believe in it.
Nah.
You know, like go to network.
nah, bro, the fourth ones is, you know, when you build something, then you get, you know, you attract great people, you're attracted to great people. So,
Yeah, I mean it's quite a creative vibe, bro. Like
Yeah, for
I've
sure.
seen- I've been to a lot of offices.
yeah.
You know,
No, I want to, you know, we want to play music which represents the brand too.
Yeah.
Just so everybody, like I said, is like I don't know what the right word is.
flow.
Yeah, just like in synergy with the brand as
Oh,
well.
okay.
Just so they live and breathe it when they're here.
Right, yeah.
So whether it's the music, we have the signs, the artwork.
So it's all intentionally like constructed, architected
Exactly.
to represent the brand. And
Yeah, I want people to walk in and it's like, yeah, fuck, that's a new shop, you know?
right, okay.
Yeah, and to be honest, I want to still do more.
Yeah.
There's still more artwork I want to do. There's still more creative, cool things that we could do even inside. But yeah, working on it.
So yeah, being in fashion, I think because you have Brazilian roots as well, I feel like fashion and art and jewelry is more an expression of like identity and whatnot. So how do you think building this brand has shaped your identity going through the years?
Nah, I get you. I actually think how I've evolved and grown up has shaped the brand's identity because, like, for sure, across the last few years, I've really started to understand my style, what I really like to like wear and, you know, express of myself. And I think the style of Cernucci's evolved as well, where, you know, previously is even within our content too, it might be a little bit too memey or very skip based, whereas now it's a little more like refined and more fashion focused and a bit more stylish. And it's also coming through with the product too, where a lot of what we're releasing now is like a little bit more mature from what we did a couple of years ago. There's like more stuff I want to wear. The fits, the shapes, the artwork, the graphics. So I'd say it's the other way around. Like when I've grown up, the brand's grown up.
Interesting. So do you think the best brands are founder-led in terms of take inspiration from the founder and, you know, the business is the founder's vessel in a way?
I think to some extent, I think to get started for sure, but it depends how big you want to go as well.
Yeah.
Like if you want to truly be mainstream and global and serve, you know, women, men of all ages, it can't just be what you like in your vision. You also need to have that business side of like, what do people want? Where is the demand, you know? Even across different countries, like, you know, America to UK style is super different. So, so yeah, I think to start with, super important, but as you get bigger, you need to have a different type of eye. That's what we do.
It's interesting on the business front because I think every business is driven by the founder's, you know, psychological drivers. And I think with you, there's a lot more depth that a lot of people probably haven't seen based off our private conversations and whatnot. And you mentioned it in your vlogs before that when you go to Brazil, you're forced to slow down. Your environments affect your, you know, what kind of mode you're in. But predominantly, like most of the time, I feel like you're on go mode. So like, how do you toggle between both modes? Is it deliberate, like you schedule it in, or do you think it's something that, you know, you burn out and you have to fly out and you have to slow down?
Yeah, I'd say I'm pretty like consistent with both of them, and it's like even daily, or there are some places I go to where I feel most at peace and most creative. If I ever want to dip there, like Brazil, like you said. But even inside a day, I feel like I have time for myself, creativity, thinking, reflection, but also there's a big portion of routine in there as well, where I need to get shit done. There's meetings. I need to like, be in the day-to-day and the strategic side. So I think I manage it well daily, and I have time for both. But also there are some pockets where I like to go to where I feel most inspired, and like take a notepad. I can write for days.
What are those things out of interest? So like taking a notepad out, going for a walk. I know you're big on walks as well.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Yeah, walking, having a coconut, having an espresso, literally taking a chair out in Rio on the beach and just having a notepad, spending hours on sunset. It's beautiful, and I just like really. It's like personal and business stuff that I can reflect on and think about.
What about when you're in places and environments that doesn't allow you to do those things, where you have to kind of get creative with, there's no coconuts here in Manchester or London. What do you do?
No, I actually I protect my mornings. That's where I feel most, like when I'm on my own and it's just silence, like even in my room, my hotel room, because I travel a lot, or at the gym, I won't listen to music. I just get certain moments where I'm on my own, and I can like feel like it's just me and myself, thinking about things and thinking about the future too.
I remember we had a conversation about this, like when we were at your old place, the walks without a phone.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
For sure. Like I think I've got a lot better at like managing my inputs.
Yeah,
and I've like protected that as well. Like even if I need to get super fucking dialed, then like 30 minutes before, I'll like prioritize boredom. Like there'll be no inputs, no music, no fucking reels.
Yeah.
Like I'll just so I can like ease into it and just bang, get into flow state like that. Just start like doing whatever I need to do on laptop or in a call. So like I think it's like you're saying, like especially when traveling or in different places which aren't as exotic as Rio and not as slow.
Yeah.
Then there's a few moments that I can find that. So.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think as a creative, I think you're a creative at heart because of you have the business acumen, but I think you have the eye as well, which I'll circle back to. But with creativity, do you think you can use your logic to get to creative ideas, or do you think it's more of a intuitive, feeling?
I'm a big intuition person for sure. Like I think, like I'm super dialed on data too. Like I'll look at all the data and like help it make some decisions.
Yeah.
But my intuition and gut feeling is way more powerful than like, it might be like, fuck it, I just back, like, for example, if we want to work with talent.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, maybe the engagement's a bit off or they had their moment or whatever, but like if I know that they're just perfect for us and we fucking need to give it a chance, and I'll back it, So I think like I try to balance both, but I lean into more intuition.
Yeah, I mean, you talk a lot about offline versus online, and I feel like you have quite the offline team, obviously, as you were saying. How important do you think that is to build to the scale that you're at now?
Nah, I think to go big, you have to have offline team and an office and a hub that everybody comes to discuss ideas, to lock in.
Yeah.
Because I think you can go so far online, and maybe there are some outliers.
Yeah.
But particularly the game I'm playing, when it's so product focused, so physical, everybody needs to feel the product, feel the brand.
Yeah.
And if you get a team of fucking killers together to be a part of that, then you're just going to accelerate and beat everybody else, for sure. I'd say.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of building offline, I think. But like I said, it's just insane to see, bro. Like from, like you only had VAs, I think, at the point we were speaking.
Yeah, bro, for sure, mate. Honestly, when we met, it might have just been my little sister.
Yeah.
Like genuinely, bro. Like that's one of my something when I reflect on like, damn, I did way too much for too long.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted it all to be perfect, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But then as I kind of matured or got better at business and stuff, I learned to bring great people in and delegate.
Yeah.
I've also heard from like a lot of people I admire or successful people that if you just delegate something and it's 80-90% of how you do, it's fucking worth it.
Yeah.
And it's something I'm learning, and I've definitely learned as well.
How do you hire? How do you find people? How do you make sure that, okay, they might not be there yet, but they have the potential, like if they see me leading by example, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually think it's like spending as much time as you can on an interview process.
Yeah.
And trying to meet them in person as well.
Yeah.
I think online is a little tough to really get a good judge of someone, or they might blag you a little bit on a call.
Right.
Whereas if you spend a bit of time with them and get dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's quite intuitive, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think I've trained it a little bit. I've got some wrong in the past.
Right.
But as I'm just getting more in the game, spending more years, more time doing it, I think I'm fine tuning it a little bit where I can leave an interview and think, fucking hell, this person's on it. This is super killer.
Yeah.
Hella sharp.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a few things also looking for in terms of personality stuff, but I think intuition is my main thing to try and find these people.
I mean, it seems like the through line and everything we've talked about, like intuition, feeling.
Yeah.
Like it's all comes down to that gut feeling. But yeah, let's see the rest of the place, man.
Has there ever been a time that comes to mind where your intuition has been wrong?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, to some extent, like with probably working with so many football clubs, like the licensing. Like we probably should have done like fucking 5 or 6.
Interesting. Okay.
So like a few years ago, we worked with football clubs, international teams on a licensing deal, where we can create an Arsenal pendant, a Chelsea pendant, England pendant, and some of them were amazing, but some of them flopped. You know, I just got a bit excited. I was like, "Fuck, I want all of them." Whereas actually, I could have thought a bit more about the fan bases, like what fan base is most fashionable. Which I'd argue, like Arsenal, PSG, for example, versus maybe Liverpool, not as trippy, I don't know. But yeah, so I'd say like this kind of collab in what we did was where I got a bit excited.
That's interesting. I think, and then that kind of segues me into more of the, like I was touching on earlier, psychological drivers. I know, like, you played football growing up, and I think we might have crossed paths at some point because you went to like the schools we went to. You often like talk about Ronaldo, Jordan, these kind of guys. How do you think that affects your decision making, like using their mental models or how they would think in a big moment?
Well, firstly, I was so lucky to be inspired by Ronaldo, and I was so lucky that he was my hero growing up because like from the start, like, bro, I didn't even know footballers drank until I was like 18.
Right.
Like, I thought that was the absolute standard, so that's how I always carried myself throughout. I think it's like having just ferociously high standards for the outcome and yourself as well, for how you approach things and how you get ready for things. So I think I carry a lot of that discipline and focus into how I make decisions as well.
You said, Ronaldo was the guy that you're looking up to, but for me it was Ronaldinho. I would think being Brazilian, bro, surely it'd be Ronaldinho, huh?
Yeah, bro, to be honest, my whole family in Brazil, they don't say Pele, they don't say Neymar, they say Ronaldinho is the best player of all time.
Yeah.
So I think it's just because he created so much magic.
Yeah.
He was like an innovator,
Yeah, and I wanted to link it to the point that, Ronaldinho in his documentary, he said that I make things look easy that, people could never do.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, but it's because he's having fun.
Yeah.
How do you link play to business, to what you're doing?
In terms of what do I feel like that is for me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'd honestly say like it's a little broad, but the game itself, in terms of
playing the game.
Yeah, man, playing the game at just like a deeper level in terms of the way we have to think at this point.
Yeah.
The hours we need to put in. Like I think as I'm ascending through the ranks, I start to it gets more addictive to be even more dialed in.
Interesting.
And I think I'm like, in like a sick way, I feel like I'm willing to sacrifice more than some others are.
Yeah.
In the same game, and that's why I hope I'll ascend also past other people. So like in a way, I find the hours and the fucking tough meetings and the tough thoughts almost play for me as well.
Do you get a rush out of you are doing things that other people might not know about?
100%, man, and I know how the universe works too, so I've got full trust in the universe to reward me for that as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know the score is going to take care of itself.
Right.
And I know if I just stay sharp, I'm learning the right things, I'm putting the hours in, it's going to come to me at some point. So happy to be patient as well, but that's what gives me comfort in the sacrifice too.
I love that.
Because I have full belief that it's going to work out.
And I have also studied, like, do you know Kapil Gupta?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's got such an interesting take on greatness and how, like, I think you can get very high studying someone and like replicating some of their routines and stuff.
Right.
But to become a Ronaldo or a Jordan, it's like almost purely intuition.
Right.
You're not studying someone's blueprint. You're not studying someone's decision making. There's definitely helps along the way, like an Alex Ferguson for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But like he was just following just his divine path, And I think as well, like sometimes, as much as I love to study like history and read this type of thing, I also don't want to just have too many inputs where I can't make my own thoughts and my own decisions.
Yeah.
So that's why, as much as I get inspired by guys like Ronaldo and stuff, like it's more like principled based,
right? Okay.
Based on like discipline, fucking dialed hard work.
Yeah.
Whereas like actual, like I always want to come to a conclusion or have thoughts myself,
right?
As much as I can,
without
listening to that founder, this geezer on Twitter, that fucking podcast, Otherwise, it won't be real.
So these guys and these things are more like smaller fragments of what helps you make you in a way.
Yeah, for sure. Like and I love to listen to resources. I love to learn a lot from history because I feel like I can predict a lot of the future.
Yeah.
So Professor Zhang will go.
Yeah, shout out.
And then like I also just love to listen to some great founders on podcasts because they've got great ideas on the pulse of things and like it's more just for context and opinions on future and stuff. Whereas when I have to make my own decisions, I always try to just fucking.
Yeah, I think it can become like consumption overload. There's like Naval says, if you want to end up back at square one, then ask everyone, and you'll end up back at a decision. So actually, how does that translate to you making decisions for your brand? Because I guess you have a healthy network as well, but and you have your principles and fragments of people that you take inspiration from. But how do you make sure you're not over consuming?
That's a great question. I'd say it comes down to a few things that go into making a decision, like I said, intuition a lot, and even like writing down my own thoughts and ideas on things, chatting with people who I admire about something. Let's say it's a big decision, and then looking around the market, people or brands who've done similar things. But then ultimately, like when I'm on a walk or like I'm talking about these mornings, is when I'll really like get clarity and make a decision on something. So it's like taking a few different sides, but then I ultimately want to be in a great position, like state of mind and stuff, to make the decision.
Yeah, because something I struggled with, and I think that this definitely helps, is identifying what is signal and what is noise. And a lot of it is noise. So a lot of it comes down to filtration, and filtering things.
100%, bro. And I feel like especially with fashion, which is so fast moving, and there's so many people who have like made it a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But the game is so different now, even from a year ago, So you might be on a podcast listening to some goat who made it like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
But actually, like he might even be able to give the best advice on like brand and what's the best place to position yourself and like where the market's going, because things are moving so quick now.
Right.
So it's also you need to be like super careful with what type of inputs you do like listen to, even if they're from successful people.
Yeah.
Because if someone's been out the game too long, then they're nowadays I feel like their advice is quite invalid.
So essentially, that there is no blueprint that you can follow, like to greatness, but there are some objective truths that remain true throughout time.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you read history. Anything that comes to mind?
Product first, 100%. Like I feel like the absolute base, particularly for fashion, the absolute baseline is top product quality, top fits, great shipping, great return system, and then you can build on top of that with the great content and brand and marketing.
Yeah.
So I feel like that principle's 100% is like you need to get that right.
Yeah.
The baseline, like I think particularly for fashion, even just as like a business, the whole baseline is just like increased like that. So it's not even just the product has to be absolutely top. It's everything, including the website, the fucking emails.
Yeah.
Like, so I'd say like that.
Alright, cool. Floor 2. What's here, bro?
So we have the e-com team. Oh, sorry, we actually have 2 rooms.
Okay.
So in this room we have e-com team, finance, HR, and customer service.
Yep.
And then in this next bigger room we have, let me show you actually.
Yeah.
We got the studio. So our stylist, photographer, then social marketing team, which covers, content and influencer, community stuff.
Yeah.
And again, I wanted this to be a pretty creative floor.
Yeah, this is sick.
But yeah.
Pieces and...
Yeah, still product here because, like I said, I want every room to have product.
Yeah.
Just so everyone can continue to visualize it and thinks about it a lot. But there's also random props and memorabilia from previous pop-ups and stuff that's nice to keep, just so we're inspired by.
So a lot of it is like mementos in a way, like to remind people
100%
what they're doing.
100%.
When I had Tim Armu on the show, he told me something that I feel like you're embodying right now is this whole thing of you don't need to kind of get to the goal, you just need little reminders. And I
So
feel
real.
Like the things I'm seeing, the pieces, the pop-up collaborations, that's like subconsciously is
100%. Nah, it keeps everyone dialed on it, man. They remember the mission.
Yeah.
And it's like the type of thing we want to execute.
Yeah.
And it inspires us to think bigger as well. And so for sure, I want to continue doing it.
One of the things I found interesting was that, what you said about being offline, right? That is, it could be like a contrarian view, I guess, like something that most people might not agree with, living as a nomad or something. But what's something that you, an opinion you hold like for entrepreneurs that most people would disagree with?
I'd say, again, I guess it depends on ambition. But I think family sacrifice is necessary in terms of family time and how much you spend with the family. So I think maybe some people might have a boundary on that.
Yeah.
But I do think to really,
So you're not like a 4-hour week guy?
nah.
Interesting.
Nah. And again, it might be the game I'm in, it's like, and we're really trying to ascend and get to the next level.
Yeah.
So what I notice for myself is it's costing more and more every year.
Yeah.
But I understand it's for the bigger vision and for the greater good. But I would say maybe that's something that I accept and I think is just necessary to ascend. So
Okay. What do you think about iteration and the game of testing? There's a whole 10,000 hours, 10,000 iterations. How do you go through that process, not only in business, but with your own rituals and your own routines and your own psychological principles?
Yeah, I really think ultimately then the one who can test the most, learn the fastest will ultimately win in anything, even if it's our socials against other brands in terms of our reach versus theirs or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if we're the ones who test the most types of video across TikTok Reels, long form, and then we learn the quickest, we're refining, we're tweaking, then we're just going to beat everybody because we're going to be super dialed into what's working and what works for us. And it's the same with health, you know, like, that's why I'm like, I've never understood when someone's giving like blanket diet advice for someone. It's like everyone's got such different bodies, different digestive system, you know, like you need to own that test.
Right.
And like even with myself, like I'm trying to like refine exactly when I want to eat carbs and all this stuff, how much protein I want to have. And I feel like everybody has to do the same.
Okay, what about the whole quality versus quantity argument?
I think honestly the best is to do both, you know. I think really like it depends, of course, like what type of business it is to some extent, how you want to position yourself, let's say as a brand on social, do you want to be a bit more considered and premium? But I really think the best can do both. Like even, just to give you an example, like Loewe, if you look at their TikTok, it's fucking amazing. It's premium, but they also hammering out videos. So I feel like the best can do both with like everything.
That's really interesting. I actually saw something that when Wimbledon's on, they posted, I think it was,
Who was it, sorry?
Wimbledon,
Okay.
like when the event was on. I think they were posting over 100 times a day. At
Wimbledon.
some point, yeah.
Bro, I saw Justin Bieber when he released his Swag album, he posted 97 times in like, I think it was either one day or 1 week.
Yeah.
And then, you know, someone might launch, trying to start their own business, they're worried to do a fucking story. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, the GOAT is posting 100 times.
I love that,
So I think, I really think it's both.
Okay, so obviously you've been in the game for 7, 8 years with the same brand, you know, 0 to 8, 9 figures, whatever it may be. What do you think now, looking back, seems obvious now, but wasn't back then?
I'd say bringing on a great team and like probably trusting people more to take off a bit more from your plate so you can really focus on strategy in the future a bit more.
Yeah.
Because probably even to this day, I'm still probably a bit of a control freak with some things where I just like kind of demand perfection a little bit.
Yeah.
And I struggle to let a few things go.
Yeah.
Whereas like for every amazing hire I made, it's just another reminder of like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is the game. Getting amazing people around and you can going to create magic.
Yeah.
So I think that was a massive lesson I learned back then, even when I hired my little sister and I didn't have to do emails anymore.
Yeah.
And you still have these moments to this day. So yeah.
Yeah, I think circling back to the eye, like, you know, the creative eye, I think you have a talent for spotting talent in a way as well. Do you think these people come to you, or do you think it's something that you have to outwardly go and get?
I feel like a lot of it is quite inward where it can come to you, particularly with your own energy and how you talk to people and the way you express ideas and how excitable you are as well. Because whenever I had, like, for example, when I met Junior, when we had conversation, it was like, we were almost talking like it was a no-brainer that we had to work together.
Yeah.
And then that butterfly effect happened where we brought more people on similar, you know? So I feel like there is definitely something in you almost need to attract greatness to.
Yeah.
So in either whether it's yourself or your business does it for you in the way you build it.
Right.
Because I think you also need to be worthy of great people too.
Tell me about some of your biggest losses that you've had. We see the highlights online of you know 50+ staff, seeing the warehouse now. What about some of the things you haven't shared?
I've had plenty of losses, man. I'd say one that definitely comes to mind was when, so Junior was a part of the team for a long time, doing all of our content, socials, helping out with like connecting us with people and stuff. But it just reached that stage in his career where he was kind of keen for something more, you know, wanted to take on a challenge himself.
Yeah.
So he started his own creative agency.
Okay.
So it just meant I didn't get Junior full time, you know.
Okay.
And that was like he's a big part of the team, you know, understood the brand really well, understood me really well. We worked very well together. But of course, it's my brother too, so.
Yeah. So losing an A player.
Yeah, man, that's a bit of an A player, but we still work together with his agency too, so it's still not the end of the world, you know. We still get to create magic together, but having access to an A player, you know, in the team full time, is always a great thing, you know.
And how do you maintain A players?
Incentive.
Okay.
I think everything is driven by incentive, and even partly if the incentive is like just being on a fucking amazing mission that's so fun and you feel fulfilled and you're really important part of the growth and the journey of feeling valued, but also of course like monetary incentive as well, whether it's like salary and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was George Eaton, I'm paraphrasing, but he said in an interview that people don't want to follow people who are scaling the mountain. They want to follow why they're doing it.
Ultimately, you're only going to find out if you bring them on, you know? So it's like bringing them on, understanding like a healthy probation period, which you think is a fair test for them. And then you either find a killer or you don't. But I feel like I still, to this day, follow my feeling a lot on this. Like when you have a conversation and you understand someone's thought processes and you get an idea for their work ethic too, I think you quickly learn.
Let's talk more about external factors that have helped you grow. Obviously, a lot of the work is internal, like the psychological drivers we spoke about earlier. But like when I saw you and I thought, okay, yeah, like this guy's on a new wave right now, was when you moved into your place, in London, where that was a legendary apartment. Like,
Yeah, that's good, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of parties there and whatnot. But you spoke about like healthy competition, like waking up with Matt at like 5 a.m. and shout out Matt as well. What guy?
Shout out Matt.
How is that? How did that season, kind of shape where you are now, and now how you in engineering your environment to get you to scale to the next level?
Therefore, I think it's at each level you get to, it's important to have different type of external influences. And I think at that time where I was still kind of getting started, it was like me and maybe 2 VAs.
Yeah.
And maybe Matt was in a similar position, but he was a bit further ahead. And being around him and living together in London was absolutely changed my life.
Yeah.
Because again, like I said, he was ahead. He was super dialed. He was building something bigger than me, had a bigger vision than me. And that inspired me to just like really want more and demand more of myself. And we got into this crazy fucking routine of waking up at like 5 a.m. every single day, Monday to Sunday.
Love that.
And bro, I'd wake up at 4:30 a.m. with nightmares. Like, shit, I woke up past 5. So that's how dialed we were.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a crazy season. So I'd definitely say who you're around is absolutely critical for sure. And like I said, it's important to have different people for different stages too.
Yeah.
Some people are obviously consistent, like your fucking family and best friends, but to ascend to each level, there's a different type of people and entourage. I think that's necessary.
So when you do that transition, when you outgrow one phase and you ascend to find new people, how do you sort of make that transition? And you think your success in any way has cost you any relationships?
Yeah, I probably have actually struggled to meet anyone in a similar position in terms of responsibility for family as well.
Yeah.
And extended family as well.
Yeah.
So that's maybe something I still haven't really met too many people where we have the same relatability on that.
Yeah.
So that's probably maybe why I deepen more than other things. The other things I can resonate and relate to people, but something like that I think it's maybe a bit unique to me in my situation in terms of my friendship group or my friends. And of course it exists.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I really sacrificed a lot of relationships to get here in terms of like moving from my parents' home to London and then spending loads of time in Manchester when we opened an office here and then spending a lot of time in Dubai and stuff. Like I really kind of, like it's been tough.
Yeah, of course. And how do you know you've reached the ceiling of a certain, phase or relationship, let's say, with someone, and I need to get to the next level. I need to start finding people who are, bigger than this.
I think it's a feeling for sure. I think you just know it. Like when you're like demanding more and you just feel like you're not at your potential or you're underperforming a bit, is when definitely start questioning. I've definitely felt that too, where I'm like, shit, I need to ascend. I need to like do some, just evolve.
A lot of it comes down to, when it comes to building for something larger than you.
Yeah.
When do you think you made that transition? Because a lot of founders are, obviously, when you first begin, you're in it for yourself to make money and stuff. But at what point did you make that switch? You're like, okay, team's relying on me, family's relying on me.
Yeah.
What's the bigger purpose you're doing it for?
I remember one time where my mum's sister-in-law died and she couldn't go to Brazil. So like I had to, and she couldn't like get herself to Brazil. So like when I covered it and I made sure she went, I was like, this is, I have to continue doing this. She has to see her family whenever, and she's the second youngest of 8. So, she needs to see her family because they're like aging and stuff, like she needs to go 2-3 times a year or whenever she wants to go. I really take care of my family,
Yeah.
And I can't afford to not be dialed or or slip up, especially in the game I'm playing. It's so competitive.
Yeah.
It's so, it's quite easy to get wiped out. You need just one bad season, and you're kind of fucked. So like, I don't want to mess up, and I've got too much responsibility to, for example, waste time dating a girl who's not going to be my wife, for example, or going out too much. Like, it's a blessing and I guess a curse to some extent, but I've got a lot of responsibility, so I don't want to mess that up. And like something, what I've been thinking a lot about recently is I do want to develop a grand philanthropic goal that I don't have just yet, to be honest, but I think that's like a different type of motivation too, that will really keep you going, and like your energy and your agency in a different level.
Yeah.
When you have like a massive goal, like feed every favela in Brazil,
right?
This type of thing, or like help stuff in England too.
Philanthropic goal is intrigues me because you see the same patterns with most successful like entrepreneurs or people who are successful in their career is that they spend the first half of their life acquiring things, money, status, power, and then usually if things go right, second half kind of giving it all away. You weren't always like overly materialistic, like from the times I've known you, like it wasn't always the flashy watches and all of that, you know.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with like materialism?
Yeah, I think I probably give credit to like my Brazilian heritage for that, because every time I've gone to Brazil, like it really is just everybody's the same, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't wear watches, you can't wear jewelry, and you know, otherwise it's a problem probably.
Yeah.
So like it really is who you are, your personality, your energy, your vibe. And I think I've always valued that more than the material things anyway. Like I'll hang with people who just got fucking great vibes, you know. I don't give a fuck if you got a dope watch. Although I love watches.
Yeah.
But like I'd say to that extent, like I like watches and stuff, but you know, I don't really care.
Actually, on that, what do you think money reveals about a character?
It's a great mirror, and I feel like you really discover who you truly are when you get first bit of decent money, and you like what your material motivations are, or like where you're at in terms of your own peace and stuff, you know. Because I feel like I've seen a lot of people where it's like nothing's really changed, and I've seen a lot of people where they change a lot, you know. And I actually think it's also you understand your own ambition when you get a bit of money, because I feel like once you understand if you're truly on a mission for greatness and impact. If you just like, you know, you might get a few watches and shit, but you don't give a fuck. Yeah. Or it's like just everything changes and your lifestyle changes and everything like just completely, you know, it's like super linear with how much you earn. Yeah. Then I think it's like, maybe it's amazing. Like you got great success, but maybe you're not super dialed. I don't know if you're going to go so far, you know? Yeah. So I feel like even in that side, that's where with myself, I understood. I actually had like an epiphany. I was like, "Fuck, I'm super dialed." Yeah. Like I'm built for a lot more because I don't feel anything. Right. Like I got some bread and like, felt nothing. I didn't feel down either. You know, some people get like depressed and shit. I was just like, oh, sick. Need to like, what's next? And some bread is an understatement. Like, you know, you got quite a bit that you could have just taken the path of, all right, cool. I can chill now, kind of thing. But you didn't, which points to me that. What do you think drives you more, your unrealized potential, or do you think it's that bigger purpose that you're working towards? I'd say both. Genuinely, I feel like I've got so much more to achieve, and then I also know I can do bigger things. Yeah. Like as much as I do love fashion and stuff, I know I can have a real impact on the world to some extent. So if I see people or brands do amazing things, I'm like, fuck, man, I know I can do this stuff, you know. Yeah. And it will fire me up to like think in a different way or study certain things. And you know, like, so for sure. Why do you think for you is you think why not me, and other people think, oh, like why can't I? Like, in terms of like, yeah, I can't do this. I think, you know, I was trained as a kid to credit to my dad. Like
my dad drilled it into my head that I was the best on the pitch. Yeah, and that just gave me faith to know that I've got the ability.
I knew Ronaldo had this mentality too, so I was so blessed to have him as a hero, as like a reference for how to think. And you know, like every interview said, I'm the best player in the world, of course. Yeah. And I really think this in every, like, whatever I do as well. So that's why, you know, if it doesn't make me feel insecure or anything, if I see someone do something lit, I'm like, fire as fuck. I want to, you know, I can do better. Yeah. And similar, you know, related, I think I see it as more of a reflection of your own internal self-worth. Like when you compare yourself to other people. Yeah. You know, and I think so you clearly have a very strong internal like will, you know who you are, you know? Yeah. I think always got super high standards. Like I know I can achieve a lot. So tying back to self-expression, to identity, to your Brazilian heritage, something that you said in your Japan blog was that a lot of modern day, you know, art has lost its, I guess artistic integrity in a way. It's over-optimized, you know, and you can see this reflected in architecture as well, you know, in the cities that you're in, which is why you choose, I guess, you know, cities like Rio. It kind of reflects soul and art. What do you think this like consequences of that are in building brands, but also just in your everyday life of being like over-optimized and over-dialed? 100%. I think too much routine will definitely hinder creativity. And that's why, as much as I do build a bit of both into every day, like to get absolute creativity and like just fucking full clarity, it does need to be a bit more spaced out, whether it's like days or a different environment and location. Yeah. So I feel like that's how I do it in my personal life, where I'm not every single day is the same. Right. Yeah. Where it's like completely to the fucking like sleep schedule to the thing. Yeah. If I'm in flow state, I don't mind getting fucking 4 hours sleep. Right. Like, I'll just work until 2, 3, whatever. You know. So like I think you've got to balance it in your own way. I think it's important to to not go too over optimized. Otherwise, you might lose your edge a bit.
Yeah, there's that quote, Socrates quote, the under-examined life is not worth living, but also the over-scheduled life, over-examined life is not worth living. You know, it's that happy middle. But on that, I want to touch on timelines. Like, how do you look at timelines now in terms of horizon of getting things done? Because I feel like getting early in the days, like in business, you think that things will be a lot quicker. I feel like, how has that sort of changed for you?
100%. I think everything is 10 times harder than you think it is, and will take 10 times longer than you think it will. I just think with that in mind, I still want to have super aggressive deadlines, demand everything of myself and the team to get it within expectation or within something that we really want, even if it's tight. So I think it's probably a bit of both there, like understanding the macro of like, the shit isn't going to be overnight versus now every day needs to be maximized to its full extent so we can hit a deadline and get it done. So I think both are super important.
There's this idea that I post about quite a bit, is that it's nothing for a long time, everything all at once. I don't know if you believe that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Like gradually, then suddenly.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
When was that suddenly for you, in terms of business, let's say?
COVID. So I know a lot of people, like it was a bit of a gold rush. So a lot of people had some wins on e-com. But I think for sure the way we compounded content, the team that came, and you know, the ads were fucking flying. So like all the years of all the content and the product being built and stuff, that, you know, all came in. That's when we became a serious brand.
I need to show you a piece of jewelry that changed my life. Yeah. So it's I think it'll be in here, but here we go. So this is the product that gave me a breakthrough back in the day. Yeah, 5mm tennis chain. Yeah. And with the bracelet as well. And this is the first product that popped off for me on ads. And it's still a classic piece for us now.
I remember getting hit with those ads.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, shout out to this piece of jewelry, bro.
That's crazy. Look, from this one single piece of jewelry to all of this is actually kind of crazy, bro.
It's actually hella real.
Yeah. Wow.
When you say it like that, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
What do you think about the idea of prophecy or self-fulfilling prophecy? You know, so when you claim something for yourself, for your life, that you're going to be great, you know, that you have this unrealized potential, what role do you think that plays?
I think if the affirmations come naturally to you, then it's real and it has real impact. Whereas I don't know if I believe in forcing affirmations or copying someone else's affirmations and writing it down every morning. Like, even I always thought when McGregor gave the story where he'd be driving in Dublin in his dusty old car, but in his head he was driving through Las Vegas in a fucking drop top, and he's got the beautiful lights everywhere. Like that came to him subconsciously. Right. He wasn't like forcing this affirmation, you know. So I think as long as it's real, then it's powerful. So that's what I think.
So do you think you're born with this? You know, this potential? Is it nature or nurture? What do you reckon?
I think the gun's loaded and then something triggers it.
Ooh.
So I do think so. I think like because you know you're born with the athletic ability and cognitive ability, but then you need the right upbringing in the right environment, and you know, however your school experience was to push you in the right and different way. So I feel like I was pretty blessed with having, you know, sound mind and good athletic ability, and then, you know, things that happened along the way is what pushed me in the right direction, gave me this mindset, gave me this thought process. So I think it's a bit of both. I feel like all the great questions are a bit of both.
Yeah, have you read Mastery, Robert Greene?
No.
He talks about this a lot, how each one of us have this, you know, unique gift, but it's on us to unearth it through practice, you know, and a lot of it comes down to luck in a way. You know, you said you were lucky that was your, like Ronaldo was your inspiration. You were born at a time when he was playing in his peak, or the environment you were born in, the things that you had access to. How much do you think luck plays a role in this? What do you think luck is?
Yeah, you know, I kind of like struggle to define it a little bit, because I'd say, yeah, luck is something arguably maybe you didn't necessarily earn or put effort into, that came to you in some sort of way, whether it's like an opportunity or then you could argue, well, you were there and you know all this stuff, so it's a little bit of a rabbit hole. But I definitely, even for the benefit of my own mind, I assign a lot to luck. Yeah, because I feel like, you know, it's also probably why I haven't ever got lost in the sauce or haven't been too bothered about material things and stuff, because yeah, I'm just super lucky. Like, bro, I went to Brazil so much as a kid, you know, I see favelas and stuff. Yeah. Like, I see true people starving, like, you know, mothers with kids, and, you know, it's horrible. Like, so I always grew up, I knew I was lucky. You know, I've always felt lucky. So, and I always like lucky with my circumstance, but I also just thought I was a lucky person. Yeah. Like, I always just thought, like, I always just thought, oh, bro, like, I got, you know, half English, half Brazilian.
Yeah.
Born on New Year's Eve. I just sort of connected these dots in my own mind. I was like, bro, I'm just like lucky as fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And then I'd always get these like opportunities, and you know, teachers never gave me shit at school.
Yeah.
Like, there's just this small things where you start to, you know, I think both things. So
That's
I feel very lucky.
How do you think about conviction? Like the strength in which you believe something. How do you strengthen that?
How do you strengthen it? Let me think.
Because I'll give you context. I feel like if you believe that you're going to be great, your business can be great from the get-go, but you don't have the evidence to support that, your conviction is quite weak, and therefore your actions might not reflect that. But I feel like you've had strong conviction from the get-go.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, that was also earned. I think I earned my conviction as a kid because I was always amazing at football.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit of a classic case of the injury thing.
But the old knee, eh?
Yeah. When I was 11, I dislocated my left knee.
Yeah.
Then I tore my ACL in my other knee when I was older. But up until that point, my dad, my Brazilian family, everyone around me was like, you're going to be a pro. You're fucking amazing at football.
Wow. Yeah.
So like, I knew I was top. I was best in my school, you know, whatnot. And then went to secondary school, and you know, it didn't really work out. But then academically, I worked super hard, and I was the only one to get an A star in economics in my school at A level. There's going to be things in between, but with this stuff, it just reminded me like I'm just such a fucking high performer.
Yeah.
And you know, if I want to start this, I can do it.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I remember when Kanye said, if I wanted to become I can't believe it was NBA or basketball.
NBA player, yeah.
I could become. I think the same shit.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks he's super deluded. I'm like, bro, if I really wanted to become a boxer, I reckon I could fucking become a boxer.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe partly delusion to some extent, but it's also just a track record.
Yeah.
And I think you don't have to build that in the thing you're about to start. So if you want to start a business, but if you're super healthy and you're disciplined in the gym, you build a great physique,
you're
disciplined with your eating, and then you fucking learn a new language, or you like get amazing at chess, or you whatever. You just have a track record of like you're building your confidence, you know.
Right.
And I think that translates into conviction.
That's a great answer. I've never actually thought about it that way. Collecting wins in different areas will give you the evidence that you can do something else.
For sure,
you know?
yeah, because like the principles are transferable, like discipline, fucking focus, working smart, working hard, and whatnot, you know. And I think the principles can go across everything.
What do you think delusion is then? What role do you think it plays in your life?
I think it's necessary, and it's been really a big part of my journey, like at every stage of the journey too. And I think everyone has to be delusional and misunderstood, because that, I think, you know, also shows you've got fucking big goals and whatnot. But I think very few people prove that they're actually not delusional in the end. So I think everybody has to be, but only few people aren't in the end, you know.
Right.
Even sometimes I watch boxers, and you know they both fully believe they're going to win, and they're in the face of it. One of them is delusional,
Right. Yeah.
and it's like, you know, you only find out after time. You have to kind of define the outcome as well.
Yeah.
Like, what judges if you're delusional or not?
Right.
Like potentially in boxing or football or something, when there is a winner and loser, I think that's like, you know, this guy's better, and he was right about what he said and what he believed himself and whatnot.
So what do you think is the equivalent is for you, like in business? Like, what's the outcome that would prove that your delusion was valid?
I think Cernucci could be a mainstream brand across the UK and US for jewelry, streetwear amongst like the Gen Z generation.
Yeah.
And I really believe we can do it despite fashion being one of the hardest games to play.
Yeah.
Despite, you know, a lot of fashion brands doing really badly right now, and even the valuations of fashion brands aren't great and stuff. I still think with me and the team and everybody we have involved that we can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be super hard. It'll probably cost everything to actually achieve that. But yeah, it's kind of like when Elon said, "I'm going to Mars."
Yeah.
It's like there's no clear roadmap on how he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's
gonna do it.
just going to do it.
Yeah.
And I think in a similar way.
How do you think risk is connected to conviction? Because
I'm hella risky.
yeah, you have to take risks, man. As am I, man. As am I.
I think it's a part of you have to take risks. It's kind of like depending on your appetite for how ambitious you are and what you want to achieve. Like, if you're not risky, then you're not going to win.
Yeah. And the way I look at risk is the things that are risky right now will look like opportunities in the rearview mirror.
Yeah,
You know,
hella
so-
real.
Yeah. So there are quite a few that come to mind where I think, oh, you know, I should have acted on that. Another trait, like I've seen in like these high performers like yourself, and what I try to embody myself, is that you have this aggressive need to learn, you know, and you try to fill the gaps with, instead of wasting time with consuming something that is you're going to plant a seed that will eventually, you know, you'll use it in your work.
Yeah, particularly when I'm traveling, because I travel a lot, like on flights or in taxis and cars and stuff. I always like plug into something. Honestly, most of the day beyond the morning, if I'm not like working or something, I have something on.
Okay.
Even when I'm like brushing my teeth at night.
Yeah.
Because I do protect my morning for like no inputs and just silence. So for the rest of the day, really, from like, let's say like while I'm in UK, I wake up at 5:30 and then until 8 a.m. will be silence in the gym, training, shower, whatever. And then anytime I'm walking or, not in a meeting or something like that, or, just in between things, I'd always try and plug in, learn something, read something. So it's like, yeah.
Looking back throughout the years now, what are some of the books or podcasts or anything that comes to mind for you that you think this was a game changer?
I'd say in terms of a book, I loved the Michael Jordan book. And that was almost like it almost reassured me that like all the sacrifices and everything that I want to do and the path to greatness is fucking horrible and like tough.
Yeah.
And it will just take a lot of sacrifice.
Right.
So that's why like the moment I read that book as well, I was like just super dialed, doing my own thing. It was like a few years in and I felt like, yeah, I love this energy. This is kind of a similar type of thing I'd love to execute or, I felt aligned. So I'd say the Michael Jordan one and also The Alchemist had a similar feeling with The Alchemist.
Bang on.
Where it was like, he had to leave home, he had to go on his own adventure to find the treasure and stuff. And I feel aligned with that too.
Because some founders, people like yourself, I think very much resonate with the grit and the graft, in terms of this is what it takes to get to the destination. But do you think there are alternative ways to get there?
I think something I do sit with sometimes, particularly on them like Saturday nights or Friday nights when I've been dialed in for so many weekends in a row. And like I'm in my 20s, so sometimes I might think about, damn, maybe I should just go out a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Or, socialize more, date more and stuff. So that's something I deep, and I guess maybe deepen a bit more as I progress through my 20s as well.
Yeah.
But I'm still like super comfortable with the sacrifice I'm making in terms of I'm doing it for myself, my family, and I know my mission and vision I have.
Yeah.
So that's but still, nevertheless, something that comes up and sometimes I sit with a bit.
Yeah, I actually think probably because I'm in fashion and I do really believe it's such a fucking hard game.
Yeah.
There are certainly better vehicles to be in. Like I would not start a fashion brand now.
Yeah.
In 2026 to start a fashion brand, unless you got like a more of a niche idea or a particular identity you want to have.
Right.
But I think to create like a massive brand will be really, really tough to like get off the ground and stuff like that because there's so much in the market. But undoubtedly, like I think there's so many opportunities, especially for someone quite early on. I'd always like advise they really sharpen the sword a bit, or like check what's out there and what's a great opportunity.
Once the Cernucci phase is kind of over, or you start to phase out of it a little bit, what do you think that's going to do to like your identity?
I've no doubt it'll be hard, like for sure. I've listened to so many founders across the year, even ones that I've met or online that have sold a business, and a big part of them goes, their baby goes. So I understand it'll be hard, but I think I haven't had much like, I don't know what the right word is there, maybe like attachment or something to things for my whole life.
Yeah.
Like even my best friend growing up, who we played football together, he actually was from America.
Yeah.
He moved back to America and then, grown up, and then I was the only one from my primary school to go to my secondary school.
Same as me.
So, left all the friends I made as a kid, then left all my school friends I made in sixth form to go live in London with Matt, then left everyone I made in London to go live in Dubai. And, so I've never built too much attachment to too much things. I'm quite stoic about everything.
Yeah.
And I think when that time comes, I'll handle it well.
When do you think that hurts you in a way, being stoic or detached?
Maybe in like relationships to some extent, I'd say. Like my little sister always says, like, you need to like show your emotions more or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And potentially sometimes that could be worthwhile. I'm not really sure.
There's this idea I talk about often that I got from a friend was like never too high, never too low.
Yeah.
Sure. You always have that baseline. And I feel like people who they're not excitable, they're not easily excitable, but they're not easily depressed as well.
Yeah.
Are usually the ones that kind of go the furthest with things.
Yeah. I'd certainly say I'm in that category. Like in terms of pretty unbothered about big wins, big losses. Just it's what it is.
It's interesting because you're not particularly, like we've spoken about this before in terms of spirituality. I don't think you're particularly spiritual in a way. I mean, you might be, right? Like where do you stand with things right now?
Yeah, I certainly believe in God, and I think there is a creator and everything. But I also think it's quite individual.
Yeah.
And you kind of build your own relationship with that, and you understand different things from it. So I feel like I for sure will think about things, even have conversations with my own like God, who I think's a part of my journey and giving me tests or giving me wins to help me learn things. So that's kind of my current relationship with it.
Yeah. What do you think about faith then? What do you think faith is?
Faith, I think it's also that faith is, to me, I think something I've partly been born with, but also something that's partly been taught to me and I've learned.
Yeah.
Like, put the fucking work in and I will be the best, So I think for me, it's partly been, I've always had belief and I've always backed myself.
Yeah.
And I've always had faith in the future and the outcome. But there has also been some things in my childhood that I've been lucky with to point that in the right direction too.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy, bro.
Hella lucky. So are you, man.
But also, it's kind of like, I'm also super realistic too with like my day-to-day life and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I don't, like I really believe everything is on me.
Okay.
And like I'm responsible for every single thing.
Yeah.
So like I do kind of balance it my own way. But yeah.
That's an interesting maxim. You think that everything good and bad is dependent on you? Like, what about the controllables versus uncontrollables?
Yeah, I just think it's a useful belief to have. And I feel like sometimes useful beliefs is better than rational beliefs. Because even I believe I'm lucky, and I believe if they're fucking, I'm not sure. If it rains tomorrow, I'm like, fuck man, why don't I wear a coat? You know what I mean? I'm not like, oh, fucking weather, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it also makes me just at peace with everything.
Yeah, I think where I was going with the initial point was I think you embody spiritual practices and beliefs even unconsciously, which is interesting, like detachment, accountability, radical self-accountability to an extent. So it's really interesting to see whether that's learned behavior or whether that's innate.
For sure, and you know what, I probably haven't figured it out yet. But what I definitely agree to the extent of like, I don't really deep anything.
Well, I like that, and there's something I wanted to close on, and it's this Brazilian concept you spoke about in your vlog called essência. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly, but
Essência de cria.
Essência de cria, okay. And what does that translate to?
So it's like somebody raised in a favela or in Rio as well.
Okay. How do you think, you as being born here and half Brazilian, half English, how do you think that applies? To me, I think I've read it as the raw essence of like who someone is. You know, how do you think that applies to now going forward, like your decision making and what you're building and where you're going?
I think it's like, it's really just making authentic decisions. And even if you got to like, even with how I'm doing my own content now, I just want to make sure it's all like considered and it's exactly what I want to be doing and the path I want to be doing.
Yeah.
And like just portraying myself the way I am.
Yeah.
And even with the brand too, I want the brand to have an essence and its own vibe, its own personality, where it is different to what's on the market.
Yeah.
And it is the best that's on the market. And, so I think that's how I use that kind of essence and I take amazing essence from my Brazilian heritage and my English heritage in different ways. Yeah. So I just want to like combine the essences because I think it's a great mix.
Crazy mix, yeah.
And I think I can create magic personally and business-wise, just being authentic and leaning into the essence of, having that.
Well, that's an amazing note to close on, bro. And like I said, it's been a pleasure to see what you've been building.
The time, the insights, and it's been amazing to see. And I think people can pick up a lot, if they really read into the little gems that you drop, the little nuances. I think, there's so much game there to be learned. It's what I like to call earned secrets, like things that have taken you 7 or 8 years to pick up, so it can fast track people's journey. And hopefully people see a side of you that they haven't seen before.
Sure.
But I'm excited to see the brand grow and see what you do with it. I know amazing things are coming.
I'm glad to be watching the journey from the outside. And like I said in the beginning, a lot of the gems that you've been dropping has inspired a lot of my action and my mental models. So I'm glad people can know that now. So go subscribe to his channel, go and watch the vlogs and follow the brand, go and see what they get up to, But bro, again, it was a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, we'll do it again soon, man.
For sure.
3, 2, 1, go.
But yeah, like I said, appreciate the time, the insights, and bro, it's been so great to see and can't see.
1, go.
Yeah, bro, like I said, it's been so great to see and
man. Of course.
think. One more time.
Some real shit though. It's actually hella real.
Use that one.
Em samba de preto veio, samba de preto do